Hey friends, my name is Calyx and welcome back to my channel. I'm not your Gen B. I did that opposite. Oh well, doesn't matter. Today I want to do some Reddit stories and I want to start in best of Reddit updates with this post that just popped up on my page earlier today. My child is alive, but not really. And this is originally posted to r/true off my chest. Trigger warnings, developmental disabilities, healthcare issues, caretaker fatigue slash burnout. Original post September 24th, 2023. I just have to let this out. I have a good friend whose baby did pass away, really did pass away, so I can't say shit. My son is 14. He's nonverbal, in diapers, needs help with all basic care. He's the sweetest, he's happy, he giggles and hums all the time, but that's it. And I thought I grieved, but now that he's this age, I can't stop crying. I was big into sports. There was no sports. There were no camps he can go to because of diapers. Yes, we've tried it all. We've accepted this is our lot in life. We're fine with that. There was no homecoming. There was no boyfriends or girlfriends. There was no prom. There was no teaching him how to drive or grounding him for sneaking out. There's nothing. It's like he died in 2009, and I just have the shell. I got to get pregnant once. I got to have one child, and that's it. I'm close to 40 and I got one chance. I was fine ages 2 to now, but now it's real. Now my friends are having babies and my nephew is growing up. I have a perpetual toddler. My life isn't the same as anyone else. I have a great job and career, support-ish system. My husband said we can adopt and help older kids, but it's not the same because my son will be the same age year after year, no matter who we adopt or help. I'm stuck. Why am I even building a career? I love my job, but what the fuck is the point? So I can pay for diapers? I'm just beside myself in grief. And yet he's alive, so how can I complain? And it's at 9:26. I had no idea this would blow up like it would. I see I've been shared in anti-groups, and I've had a few tell me to take my kid out. I think they're meaning, like, kill the kid. Wow. However, those with a minority in comments, I don't understand why people would comment stuff like that. That's just horrible. Like, no matter what the situation is, to just be like, "Well, you might as well kill the kid. He'll never have a normal life, blah, blah, blah." Those were the minority of the comments. I can't express how cathartic this was. All the stories and beautiful messages have helped me heal and move past this grief wave I was in. Thank you to everyone who commented. I'm still trying to keep up. I hope this was a space for others to feel heard and not feel alone. Thank you. Yeah. I think before we read the update, I want to just say I think we all have some kind of expectation for how we think our kid is going to turn out. And like when you have a child with a disability, it's hard, and it's really not the same thing, like, at all, like, I can't compare, like, my life, my childhood to this person's kid, like, but I'm just saying, my mom probably had some expectation for how I would turn out and how it would be like, and I'm pretty sure autism wasn't in her playbook. Like, I mean, she knew I had autism when I was a little kid, but I'm guessing she wasn't like, "Oh, I want to have a child with autism," or like preparing for, "Oh, my kid might have autism or something," and then I just was born and I had autism and now I'm here and, you know, I can function on my own. I'm not in diapers. I'm actually living a pretty great life. So I'm really happy that my mom's situation isn't this situation because I can't imagine how heartbreaking it would be for her. And it's just she loves me no matter what. But I can't imagine that me having autism and dealing with this special needs stuff is easy for her to deal with. Like, she loves me. She's amazing, she's the best, like, she's never gonna be disappointed in me or disappointed because I had autism, but, like, this probably wasn't what she had in mind when she was thinking about what her child was gonna be like, she probably wasn't thinking that her kid was gonna be living with her into her third that her kid was gonna be living with her into their 30s, like, and, even I don't know. And then, there was the trauma piece and the depression and anxiety and all kinds of other stuff that obviously I wasn't born with that just came with life stuff because of my childhood and everything that happened there. But obviously, my mom wasn't prepared to, be getting me mental health help at age 15 or 16, putting me in like a live in mental health program for a few years that I was in so that I could get the help I needed, dealing with all that stuff, putting me in therapy, dealing with the autism, dealing with the trauma, dealing with all the depression, dealing with all that stuff. She probably wasn't thinking she was going to be putting her child in the hospital at 17 for suicidal thoughts and ideations. Yes, I was literally in the hospital at age 17. Like, I've never been in the hospital since, and things have only gotten better from there, and, like, I've been having those kinds of thoughts less and less often, but it was really bad when I was a lot younger. Like, it was really bad when I was a teenager. I was literally on suicide watch for some months before I was in the program where I was getting help, and it was like an on-site thing. I still went home on the weekends usually, but yeah, I was literally in the hospital for, like, I think 3 days for suicidal tendencies because I actually had a plan and everything, and I mentioned that, and I was, like, admitted to the hospital. I think I was on whatever the hold is where they put you on a 72-hour hold, whatever you call that. Like, she probably wasn't thinking that was going to be her life when she was thinking about having kids. Not even and I'm not even gonna mention my sister. Um but anyway, I hope this was a space for others to feel heard and not feel alone. Thank you. Editor's note, OOP has received mostly supporting comments. Relevant slash top comments, you are justified in feeling that way. A lot of parents end up abandoning them to institutions, and I wouldn't hold it against him. And then OOP says, unless he gets violent, we have just accepted that he will live with us until we die, and I have a will set up if he outlives us. I'm just completely lost. Thank you for responding. I'm ESTUS and I cannot sleep. Commenter 2, you are totally entitled to feel that way. Sometimes it's just too much. And your frustration is easily understood. Taking care of someone 24/7 isn't for everyone, and it takes a very strong person to do that. You're doing incredible, and it's okay to feel stuck. OP says that's a great way to put it. It's constant care. Thankfully, I am not alone, but it's constant. He has learned how to climb for Oreos, so I don't have to get those out. That's kind of sweet. I like Oreos. Actually, I prefer like Fudgios. I prefer chocolate cream cookies or chocolate chip cookies. I miss when they had the chocolate cream Oreos. They used to have chocolate cream Oreos. I don't know if you guys remember those. They had them. They stopped producing them a few years back, and I was really like disappointed by that. They actually stopped producing a lot of my favorite snacks just suddenly, and it's really disappointing. Like when I found out in late 2024 that they weren't going to be selling Little Debbie snacks anymore in Canada in the year 2025. That was disappointing. I was disappointed by that. It was unfortunate and I just it sucked. Like it was but I have other stuff. I have lots of other my other favorite snacks. Oh, I also have Kit Kat Pops, which interestingly enough, they had like a long time ago when I was a teenager. They were called Kit Kat Bites at that point, and then they stopped making them. And then, like a few years ago, they started making them again, and I just saw them one day in the little they weren't in bags at the time. They were in the little boxes. Like they had these small boxes of Kit Kat Pops. And then later on, and then like within a couple months, they ended up being in bags too, like bigger bags. So I didn't have to go and buy like 5 or 6 of the small boxes for one weekend. I could just buy like one or two of the bags. And I'll sit here and eat an entire bag of Kit Kat Pops because they're so delicious and I love them. But they did have them a long time ago, and they just popped up again a few years ago recently. And I was very, I wasn't expecting to see them going in. Like, I had a lot of my favorite snacks when I was a teenager that actually, disappeared when I was in my 20s. So, there was also one of my favorite ones was Reese Bites, which is basically Reese's in these little balls of chocolate with peanut butter in the middle. Like I don't know how to explain it. They're just they're round and they were round and spherical. If I can remember, I'll put a picture here, or you guys can just go look it up. Hopefully, I'll remember to put a picture, but you guys can look it up if I don't remember. So, hang on. I have an idea. Yeah, so that's what Reese's Bites looks like. That's what they look like. That's what they look like, and, it was actually my foster mom who bought them for me first. Like, they just stopped making a lot of my favorite snacks that they made when I was younger, and, like, it was really disappointing because I really did love those snacks, and I had my safe foods, and I had all my little things, and I still have a lot of good safe foods, and I'm discovering more safe foods as I go along, but it's just a little disappointing that I'm probably never going to eat Reese Bites again. I mean, I never know, they might come back with them, but it's not something that I expect. But they did come back with Kit Kat Pops, which I'm really, really excited about. Hopefully, they won't stop making them again, but I guess that remains to be seen. But even if they are just here and they're going to go away eventually, I will enjoy them for the time that I have them. Okay, and another commenter says, you should look to see if your state has a support program for special needs children. I work for a support program in my state in the Midwest, and I help get parents items like diapers, respite, and home support. Itself, the children's long-term support waiver, kind of Medicaid adjacent. I'm not sure if all states have an equivalent, but it is a big help to a lot of the families I work with. What you deal with on a daily basis is what you deal with on a daily basis is something I could never do, and I hope you know how strong and resilient you are. Best of luck to you. Thank you, says OOP. I should preface I have him on SSI. I think that's Social Security Insurance or something. Though I'm still fighting since we moved to Florida. We've done respite care hours, diapers. I just make too much, and again, we moved to SSA being a dick. We don't trust too many because of him not talking. He was in a special charter school where I was asked, how can you die and leave someone to take care of him in diapers? Wow, that's messed up. So we pulled him. Good. I promise we're in a much better place with resources and knowing what's up with some families. I appreciate you letting me know all this. Like, yeah, even I'm in respite. Like, I had a support worker pretty much probably for the last, like, 10 years or so. I've gone through a lot of support workers, but this is the one that's never going away, finally. Like, I think I finally found one that's not going to leave me, even though the last one technically didn't leave me, but, she physically abused me. It wasn't like she slapped me across the face or something, like, I just reached for the radio and she slapped my hand away. So, and it took me a while to get my mom to understand, but I've now been with my current support worker for over a month. We started working together pretty much right after I moved back with my mom. So like last May 2024. I can't say last May anymore because last May is May 2025. May 2024, I moved back with my mom. I got my snake. Uh, that was also when my grandpa got sick the first time. And then he died last May. And interestingly enough, it was kind of like bittersweet, but when a memory something popped up on Facebook in July of 2025, only like a couple months after he died, saying that I we had been friends for since 2021, like Facebook friends, because it shows you the Facebook, like it shows you when it's your Facebook friend's anniversary with your friend with a certain friend. And yeah, he is my friend on Facebook. I still look at his posts and like I miss him. Not really much you can do about that though. I guess my point is like I'm also in respite, and it took me a while to get a worker, but I've been in respite for a while, and my mom needs a break. And I used to do my shopping with my mom, but now I have a support worker for that. She's been off the last couple weeks though because of the weather has been getting really bad, and actually this past Monday my mom was literally off work because the snow was so bad. So we were like making compromises with the TV and stuff because like I want to try and compromise with her more. Um, it's actually like I wanted anyway. My point is the snow was so bad that my worker had to take off. So like if the weather is bad, the cars get pulled and she can't come support me. Like they have an entire respite program with a bunch of workers up there, and if the car gets pulled, she if the cars get pulled off the road, she can't support me because the weather's too bad. So she comes in like the support vehicle, not her personal vehicle. And then the cars get pulled if the weather's too bad. So yeah, been working with her for it'll be 2 years in May, so close to 2 years now, because it's January. What day is it? January 30th? January 29th. Okay, it's January 29th. Yeah. All right. And I get paid tomorrow. I also get my money tomorrow. I don't get that extra money tomorrow. That's coming February 19th. It's an extra like benefit of the current it's like an extra thing that I could apply for, and it turns out I did qualify and benefit from it. Um yeah, so anyway, my point is anyway, and then OP says, "Thank you." Oh, we already read that. Okay, commenter 4. I'm so sorry. I completely understand your pain and frustration. My daughter is autistic as well. I've had a lot of therapy. I did grieve what I thought would be a normal mother-daughter relationship as a death. Once I knew it wouldn't be traditional, I wrote a letter in my phone as a eulogy to what I thought I could have. I too will never have the sports, dances, wedding, first job, getting a driver's license, and so on. Take time to bury that idea of what you thought it would be. Grieve it. Curse the gods, scream into the darkness, but never let anyone minimize the pain you feel. Anyone who does not allow you the freedom to mourn is not a friend, and, in my opinion, not someone to keep around. Also, side note, people who compare pain are a special type of asshole. I had to let go of a lot of friends slash family that would say it could be worse. Yeah, no shit, but I would answer it could be a lot better too. Yeah, like your pain is valid. What you're feeling is valid. You mourning the life you thought you would have with your child is valid. It is valid. It is all valid, and don't let anyone take that away from you. Like, don't let anyone minimize what you're going through and your pain and what you're feeling. You are allowed to feel those feelings. You are allowed to feel upset. You are allowed to feel disappointed. You are allowed to feel heartbroken because your child will never have a normal life. And, and there was always that worry there that what if you die, then who will take care of my child? Like, I don't understand because I'm not a mom in the traditional sense. I do have stuffed animals, but that's not the same. It's not talking only about human children here. Like, anyway, I slowly let go of people who refuse to see my pain and constantly minimize it. Hang in there from one mama to another. I see you. I hear you. Your pain is valid. I hope you find some comfort knowing you are not alone in your thoughts of grief, as it is common in our world. And OP says, "You have no idea how much your comments means to me. Thank you." OP explains more about her son's conditions and health issues. OP says he has multiple brain malformations. He's blind in his left eye. His pit gland is broken and not in the right place. Hypothyroidism, nonverbal, schools used to use the global development delay. It could be worse. My boy is 99% of the time happy. We moved to the beach and he's flourished, but he's about 8 to 9 years old mentally. Maybe. We don't really know. No one else in my very large family, think 20 plus cousins on one side, has any kids with anything. I got very sick when I was about 20 weeks pregnant and in the hospital. We've always wondered if shit just didn't take. We will never know. I do want him genetically tested for Angelman syndrome, if you've ever heard of that. OP needs to make sure she can get therapy for herself so she can deal with her son's life situation. Thank you. I do therapy on meds. LOL. Gamut. Have resources at hand, and I'm a little pro with the state stuff. OP shows more details on if her son is receiving resources at a special needs program. OP says he went to a special needs school for from kindergarten to fifth grade. We loved it, but there was a place for my kiddo. He just, I don't know how to explain it, but they were good to him. And we met our nanny, who we used for years until we moved. We put in a special charter school in Florida. I commented elsewhere, but they asked how I'd feel when I die and leave him in diapers. What if someone hurt him, etc. And we pulled him that day. His home school doesn't have the funds for an aide, so we homeschool him. We moved literally to the beach and he's learned to swim and float. I get your excitement over things. Mine chased me the other day in the ocean. He got seaweed and I was being silly. Ew, kiddo, it's so slimy. Don't touch mama. And damn if he didn't giggle and swim closer to me and he threw the seaweed at me. I cried, oh hell, in the ocean. Well, there's good times and there's bad times, you know? And he's happy. He's happy. So at least you've got that going for you. I mean, it's definitely not easy having a kid with a disability. It's not easy having a kid when you think about the life you're going to have with your baby and you don't get that exactly the way you thought because things come up, you know? You just never know what you're going to get. And you could get a completely healthy kid and your kid could have a lot of issues and it might not be exactly what you envisioned. And it does suck. It is unfortunate, you know, everything you're going through. And it's pretty messed up that people can say these kinds of things about your child. Like, how would asking how you would feel if you died and left him in diapers. And that's like every parent's worst fear. Like, not even just for special needs kids. Like, what if I die? And, who's going to take care of my kid if I die? And I can only imagine it's much worse if you have a special needs kid who, you don't know what you're going to do. And for people to feed into that fear or ask that, that's not okay. That's pretty messed up for them to say. But it does sound like there's good times, so, you know, there's going to be good days and there's going to be bad days with any kid. No, special needs or not, but especially when you've got a special needs kiddo. But sounds like you're doing the best. You're doing the best you can. And then OP says on if she plans to have more kids. OP said, I need to apply to others, but I'm going to try and get some sleep. My husband had a vasectomy when our son was about 4. We knew the road we potentially faced, and we decided not to have any more kids. We also don't know what caused all this, so we didn't want a second child to possibly be disabled too. And thank you, LOL at Ish. My sister and I turned out okay-ish, just from terrible parents. Yeah, I get that. I mean, having one disabled kid, probably not easy to think about what you would do if you had a second disabled kid. And, can you even handle another kid if you have a disabled kiddo? Like, can you give both kids the attention that they need? Because, the special needs kid is obviously going to need more attention, but, you need to give the other kid attention too. And it's just a balancing act that some people can't handle, you know? It's just whatever you decide is best for you, and it's your life choices, and whatever choice you make the right one for you, and that's what's important. You do the best for you and your husband and your kid, and that's what's important. So, it sounds like you made the right choice for you, and whether or not you have kids, if you don't I get not wanting a second kid to be disabled because, dealing with all that. I can only imagine it's a lot. Top comment. I had a friend in elementary school. His name was Devin. Devin had a chronic kidney disease. He had to wear a monitoring device on his abdomen for 24/7. I remember towards the end of fifth grade, he invited me and a few other friends to a sleepover at his house. Late at night, I woke up to use the bathroom and I saw his mother crying over him as she was fixing something on the machine he had to sleep attached to. I wasn't quite old enough to understand her more complex emotions, but I knew she must have been a pain. I can only imagine your own scenario. You have every right to want to break down. It's only human. Grief is a spiral, not a circle. Yeah. Yes. And you're gonna grieve, You're gonna grieve the life you thought you could have with your kid. You know, you love your kid no matter what, but there's still that, you know, there's still that question in the back of your mind. What if my kid had turned out, you know, fine? What if they had turned out not disabled? What if what kind of life could I have had? You know, and you have every right to feel that way. You absolutely have every right to feel that way. My mom has every right to feel that way too. Like, if she was sometimes grieving the life she could have had if I didn't have autism, if I didn't have depression, if I didn't have PTSD, you know, if I could be, I don't know, more in this life, if I could do better for myself. I mean, she's like super understanding, but you know, she probably wonders sometimes. She probably does wonder, you know. She probably does wish that I I was okay, cause no parent wants to see their child hurting. Like, they just don't. Okay. Author's note, I appreciate all of your kind words, not just to myself, but to OOP as well. I wanted to elaborate a bit on what I mean when I say grief is a spiral. In mathematics, a spiral is defined as an open curve, meaning it has two distinct endpoints. Where we begin versus where we end is always present, and while we may sometimes go backwards, we eventually break free of the pattern. The best course of action is to keep moving. Neither headlong nor empty-handed, and trust that you'll find your way. Yeah, keep moving, but also feel your feelings, you know? Don't let them overwhelm you. Don't let them take over your life, but feel them. You know, you are allowed to feel them. You are allowed to feel your feelings. You know, as long as you're handling them in a healthy way and you're not going around like breaking shit or screaming at people who don't deserve it or, you know, whatever, but feel them. You are allowed. Update January 18th, 2026. Over 3 years later from the original post. Update to My child is alive, but not really, almost 2.5 years later. Hmm. I posted in September 2024 about my 14-year-old son being alive, but not really. That post helped me so much, and I truly think the comments got me through that time. After I got my medication adjusted, I've been promoted at work, and we've moved to a place with much more room. When he turned 16 in April of 2025, I had a breakdown, a full-on sobbing breakdown. The reality of the age was hitting me. We weren't teaching him to drive like his cousins are doing. We aren't going to prom. All those years all those fears I had years ago were now coming true. We weren't looking at colleges. Thankfully, my best friend flew in to see me. I got through it. However, it's been heavy again. I don't know if it's because I'm prepping for 18. He's alive, but not really. He's still nonverbal. He's still in diapers. He's become more independent in things and can fix his own cereal. That's that's an improvement. But we'll sit in his room humming until we go get him. It's a complete mind fuck. Yeah, I mean, sounds like he's doing a little better, and sounds like you're doing a little better. I mean, you know, there's that spiral, but you know, you you got through it. You got through it. You have a teenager with hair growth in places, and he's in diapers. I feel like a fake mom, or at least a terrible one. You're absolutely not a terrible mom. You are not. I feel like a fake mom or at least a terrible one. I try to do things with him, but I don't know if he cares or likes it. He started getting seizures. Our life has completely changed. Oh boy. Oof. Oh, seizures. Oh boy, that's not good. We're terrified of triggering a seizure. Any trips we did take, gone. Any long outings, gone. It's all gone. We attempted our own cure, if you will. Since my husband can stay at home, we stopped everything, and our boy sleeps when he needs and wants. Sometimes he's nocturnal, which means my husband is nocturnal, which means I'll go for most of a day for an entire week, not seeing them for more than an hour or so between my work and my own sleep. I just don't understand. I overcompensate with my nephews buying whatever because why do it? I do get my son stuff, but it's not the same for mine. He doesn't care about Disney or the newest shoes. It's been 2.5 years, and I feel like even more of a fucking sham of a mother than I did then. can you even talk? Like, it'd be hard to have a kid that couldn't express certain things, that couldn't talk. Like, mm. Yeah, I can't imagine what you're going through. And with the seizures now, that does not sound like it sounds really fucking heartbreaking to go through that and like getting seizures. I hope things get better. I hope things turn out better. Editor's note, OOP continues to receive more supporting responses and comments. And there are relevant comments. Commenter 1, I don't have any advice, but wanted to send you so much love. I work supporting adults with severe disabilities, and it's so hard to imagine the future they could have had compared to the reality of now must be soul shattering. I have a child with disabilities, not to the severity of your son, but the fear I feel for her future is gut wrenching. The vulnerability as she grows, and the guilt of knowing she will probably never be independent. Please know you're doing your best in an excruciatingly difficult situation, and that makes you an incredible mom. You're allowed to feel exhausted, resentful, and scared. That doesn't make you any less, it makes you human. Yeah, absolutely. These are all human emotions to be going through and dealing with this stuff and, everything and hurting. Like, it's it's such a difficult situation. OOP, resentful. Dad and I are trying to get better at taking ourselves out. It's easier to do alone, albeit sad. His giggles are cute, but his high-pitched ones are to tell me he pooped his diaper using his AAC device. And then he giggles because he's embarrassed, I'm sure, while I wipe, and it makes me want to scream. I wanted to be a grandma. I wanted to have a kid-in-law. I just can't stop grieving. Ugh. And Commoner 2 says, I'm in a very similar situation with my daughter. She's 25 this year, also nonverbal, can't really do anything for herself. She has good days and bad days. My wife and I work it out. I get what you mean about buying him stuff. Our daughter has a ton of stuff we bought that she never touches. But by God, does the lass enjoy ripping open wrapping paper. A couple of years ago, we were using a support service who sent carers round for maybe 6 hours a week. We found one carer that's amazing with her. Ended up hiring her privately for 2 days a week, 3 hours at a time. Most people might not get it, but those 6 hours are great for everyone. She's happy to have a friend to go out and do stuff with, and we get a few hours of respite. It really does make a difference, and it's not a failing on you. Finding someone they can spend time with has made everyone happier. She will probably move on sometimes, but we will enjoy it while it lasts. You're a human being. Cut yourself some slack. That's actually such a good point about like you're not a failure as a mom by getting someone who can help take care of your child sometimes, like, that doesn't make you any less of a mom, it makes you human. Everyone needs a break, and you're allowed to have that, especially when you have a special needs child or disabled child. OOP says we talked about this. We had a nanny slash sitter whom we loved before we moved. We're thinking about finding someone who would take him out and just hang out with him a few hours, a few times a week. We'd pay for any and all expenses plus hourly. I think it'd be good for us. Thank you. He does love ripping open wrapping paper, lol, not the gift, but I will wrap anything and everything. And then OOP shares a bit more about having all resources for her son in her area. OP says, oh hun, lol, Florida. I appreciate all your info, but I'm the admin lady here, lol. He's been on SSI, Medicaid, therapies, Unique Abilities Scholarship here, about $9,500-ish a year. Yeah. I make sure he has everything. I do make good money, so we are borrowed from a lot here. My husband's from here, and we are now living in a family home, so now I can save. OP responds to multiple comments about the possibility of relocating to California as disabled people will receive proper and qualifying services for free. OP and her husband could consider about looking into the programs that might be suitable for their son. And OP says, okay, so I've been having this feeling. So my firm is headquarters in SoCal, Orange County. We have an office about 20 minutes from Laguna Beach. I know it'd be expensive, but one, my firm will love a person in my role and team out on the West Coast, and we get great weather, so truthfully, should I consider this? We've been talking about doing a relocation to one of my offices in California. My entire team is East Coast, so I have no doubt my work wouldn't care to have one of my team, me, over in their time zone. over on their time zone because I'm flown over a lot for training to be on their time. I very much appreciate this and agree. I work remotely, as I mentioned. My pay was initially based on a firm in DC, and my current is based in California. I am paid very well for my role, about double what I get if I was based in Florida. The rents, even in Irvine, are comparable to when we lived on the beach north of Miami. But thank you. Without context, I'm sure I sound quite naive. Hey, friend. There goes my phone. Okay, so my friend came over the other day when I was recording. She was supposed to come over. It was like a set thing. She just texted me that she was coming over, so I was wrapping up my work and I couldn't get back to the story that I was reading. But I think there were only like a couple of responses to comments left. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. But you guys get the point of that story. I'm gonna read a couple. Hang on, I saved some stuff. So I'm gonna read a couple of stories from oh no consequences. Um, okay, and the title to this one is in Oh No Consequences. The title of this one in oh no consequences is My sister knew I didn't want a birthday celebration, so of course she arranged a surprise party and invited my ex-boyfriend so that we could fix things between us. And the tag on this is shaking my head. And this is originally from Am I the Asshole? And the title there is Am I the Asshole for skipping my own surprise birthday party once I found out it wasn't really for me? I've never been big on birthdays. Don't get me wrong, I don't hate them. I just prefer something low key. Dinner with my closest friends, maybe watch a film, something small basically. Everyone close to me knows this, especially my sister. Let's call her Maya. Maya, who loves big gestures and believes every birthday or achievement needs balloons and a theme and much, much more. Your sister would love me because I am friggin' obsessed with my birthday and doing things for my birthday, and I love big birthday celebrations. Anyway, 2 weeks before my birthday, Maya started acting strange. She kept asking me if I'd be free that Saturday and acted weirdly when I asked why. I suspected that she was up to something, so I told her again that I didn't want to party. She just laughed and said that, as per usual, I was being no fun. A couple nights ago, the night before my birthday, one of our mutual friends let it slip about it being a party. She mentioned what she was wearing. Anyway, turns out the whole family was invited and it was at our parents' house. Some coworkers were also invited, but here's the kicker, my fucking ex. For a little context, me and my ex broke up 2 months ago. It ended pretty badly. No abuse or cheating, but it wasn't a pleasant ending. I've made it pretty clear to everyone in my life that I want no contact. Maya knows this, however, she's told me multiple times that I should just get over the whole situation because he's a nice guy and that he's been a part of all our lives for years. The first thing that I did was call Maya, demanding answers, and she didn't deny it. She just said that we could finally talk it all out. She admitted that she hadn't just thrown this party for my birthday, but also so everyone could see my ex again, and we could fix things between us. She literally said to me that I'd thank her later. I went mad. I said to her she had no right, that I would have been ambushed into the situation on my birthday. And this was all after I had specifically said that I didn't want a party. She just said that I was being dramatic and bloody ungrateful, that she had the that she had this whole thing planned because I wouldn't find better and it was a good gift. She said everyone had gifts and had traveled, that everyone was excited. So yesterday on my birthday, I completely powered off my phone and didn't let anyone know other than my best friend. So we went out for lunch and went on a walk together and ended up having a great day. When I finally got home, I turned my phone on and it was mental. Maya was fuming. People were disappointed. People even said I embarrassed Maya. Maya is now basically saying that I ruined the whole party and made it all about me, even though it was literally my birthday. She says that she did it out of a good place in her heart and that I should at least apologize for not showing up and letting people know. So am I the asshole? Okay, and we're on r/ am I the asshole right now because I want to read these comments because in my eyes, she's absolutely not the asshole. This is your birthday. You should be able to spend it how you want, first of all. But like the bombshell of it, her inviting your ex who you don't want to talk to or want anything to do with, that's a whole other can of worms. And like, I'm not having anything to do with my two ex-boyfriends. Anyway, not the asshole. Don't be surprised when Maya and your ex end up dating. Oh gosh. Oh my god, that was exactly my read of the situation. Yep, she needs to send a group message stating she explicitly said she didn't want a party and that under no circumstances did she want to see the ex. When she learned of the party, she gave her sister a chance to at least uninvite the ex. When that was refused, she decided to control the one piece she could, which was her own attendance. If the family would prefer to keep company with the ex instead of her, that is fine, but they should let her know so she knows which numbers to erase from her phone. Nah, a group message saying I had no idea a party was planned, but since Maya mentioned she was having my ex over, and you all know how that ended, I decided to spend the day elsewhere. Doesn't hit the same as the OG message at all. Totally, that's the point. Act innocent, come off shocked. Just shocked that there even was a party. Let Maya deal with all of it while just maintaining innocence. You actually got a point there. I forget playing dumb is needed sometimes. I'm gonna try and find a new comment. Okay, there's literally a lot of fucking blah. Anyway, whatever, I don't know. Not the asshole, but Maya is right. You did make it about you. Before it was all about her. Her throwing this big party, her mending your relationship with your ex. You robbed her of the opportunity to pat herself on the back. She did it out of a good place of her heart for her. I nearly downvoted you, but your explanation is perfect. Right? Such a nice way to word it. Not gonna lie, they had us in the first half. Alright, now I'm back down to consequences, and I'm going to read a few comments from here. How to do something nice for someone you care about on their birthday. One, do the opposite of what they asked for. Two, invite the ex with whom they have no contact with. Three, blame them and play the victim to friends and family when everything doesn't work out. And then there's like a little facepalm emoji person. I can't stand my brother, and even I would never do that to him. I've had the problem of my sister wanting to do what she likes on my birthdays, like go dancing in the clubs. We compromised that I would go dancing on her birthdays. LOL, I love it. Like, yeah, you should get to do what you want for your birthday. It's just so frustrating. Like, you need to, it's your birthday. You get to do what you want. Sorry, everything's different now. Everything's like fucking different now. I'm just trying to figure out where everything is. They completely changed the Reddit layout, and now it's harder for me to find my stuff. Okay, r/oh no consequences. This is another story from oh no consequences, but it's tagged with best of Redditor updates Time Machine Tuesday. So that means it's supposed to be originally from best of Redditor updates, but it's also originally from best of but it's also originally from r/am I the asshole. So it's originally from r/am I the asshole, reposted the best of Redditor updates, and then reposted again to r/oh no consequences, if that makes sense. And the title on oh no consequences is OOP decides to get wasted with wasted with coworkers at lunch, loses his job, and learns absolutely nothing. And it's tagged Best of Redditor Updates Time Machine Tuesday. Okay, and the title on Best of Redditor Updates is r/am I the asshole? Uh, or not, the the title on Best of Redditor Updates is Am I the Asshole for Ordering Tequila Shots for My Work Colleagues at Friday Lunchtime? Oh dear Lord. Wait, I've heard this story, I think like a couple days ago. R/Reddit on his channel. Or maybe it was Oz, I don't know. Those are my two morning they upload videos every morning, both Oz's Vault and r/. So I watch like both Reddit videos every morning when I wake up. It's part of my morning routine now. It's literally to the point where it's become part of my morning routine, and I always watch their videos on the day that they come out. But anyway, OOP is is u/tequila shots at work, which is very hilarious. That he must have made that account simply for this story, unless he just, I don't know, does this regularly. Okay, originally posted on /am I the asshole. Trigger warning, abuse of alcohol, coercion, and pressuring people to drink. Okay, yes, I have heard this one before. Okay, so this is from like a few years back because it's originally posted on September 25th, 2021. Okay, I, a 26 male, work in a busy lab, medical diagnostics, and every Friday we go as a team 6 to 7 people to a local sports bar to have a team building lunch on the boss's credit. on the boss's company card. Yesterday, our boss was swamped with deadlines, but said the rest of us could go anyway, as long as we paid for any alcoholic drinks ourselves. Yeah, I'm already recognizing this story because r/slash Reddit on his channel. Anyway, usually the boss and one or two other people will order a small beer with their lunch. So I have consumed alcohol on the clock before in this job. I was even thinking that without the boss there, that I might order a big beer this time. When we arrived, though, me and my work bro, who is 25 male, were drawn to a new offer the bar had on tequila shots, 5 for $10. Oh my god. In our defense, we just had a very stressful morning, so we proposed to the team that we buy a single round of shots to commemorate it. A couple of our colleagues were a little reluctant, but after a little convincing, we were soon toasting to a morning of hard work. This guy never left high school, calling this dude his work bro and like peer pressuring people into fucking shots. This is the behavior of like a 17-year-old, I swear. But I'm also gonna just say I know nothing about drinking or anything like that. Thank God for that. Like how much I don't know how much alcohol is a lot, so I'm just going to start by saying that. But yeah. So I have no idea what qualifies as a lot of alcohol or, how much alcohol you actually need to drink in order to get drunk. But this is probably a really dumb idea, and just the fact that you are peer pressuring people into drinking in the first place just tells a lot about you, and it's not good. After a little convincing, yeah, that's so after a little peer pressure, that's what you actually meant. That's when my work bro proposed we order a second round of that's the second time he said that. That's the second fucking time. What is with this phrase work bro? Okay, you can just say friend or pal or buddy or literally anything else. Work bro? You sound like you're 15. Okay, anyway, that's when my work bro proposed we order a second round of shots. I have a pretty high tolerance for alcohol, so it was no problem with me. I know for a fact that we have a couple of quote lightweight colleagues. For example, a diminutive English lady. For example, a diminutive Asian lady. Oh my God. I don't like that language. Why are you talking like this? The whatever, who rarely drinks, who is a 23 female, but we still managed to convince the rest of the table to drink with us a second time. By the way, am I the only one picturing Diane from BoJack Horseman? After that, the two females with us tapped out, but the three remaining guys, myself included, decided to split 10 further tequila shots. Oh my gosh. Okay. So there's three of you and there's 10 shots. That's about 3 shots each. By now they've got to be drunk, right? In our defense, as far as team building goes, the outing was a roaring success. I think I learned more about my colleagues in those 1.5 hours than I have in the last 2 years. Oh my God. Okay. Anyway, unfortunately, when we got back to the office, our boss could smell the tequila on my breath. My work bro, very stupid. What the stop? Okay. He very stupidly decided to be honest and told him that some of us had had 5 or more shots of alcohol at lunch. What? Okay, that's insanity. Yeah, that's gotta make you drunk, right? I hope you did you drive back to work? Like, how were you getting back? I hope you didn't, like, fucking drive your cars back. Like, that cannot be safe to drive. How did you get from the bar back to work? Was it within walking distance? It doesn't say. I feel like, okay. Anyway, my boss's face turned bright fucking red and he told us all to go home immediately and that it wasn't safe for us to be working in a lab while inebriated. I calmly explained to him that in fact, still felt very sober. I have a very high tolerance, remember? But he wasn't having it. I'm genuinely worried about what's going to happen on Monday morning. The two female colleagues called me and my friend assholes for taking it too far and getting everyone into trouble. I'm done using the phrase work bro. I don't like it. I see their point of view, but on the other hand, we did have a really good time while at the bar. Yeah, you had a really good time drinking and peer pressuring people to drink more. Help us out, Reddit. Who is the asshole here? And of course, the verdict is that they're the asshole because, obviously, Okay, let's see some of the top comments. You're the asshole. I'm pretty sure being inebriated while working in a medical diagnostic lab is a felony. You should be thankful you weren't fired. Yeah, when you're working in any kind of medical job, you really need your wits about you. Like, imagine being a surgeon and getting drunk on the job and shaking during surgery or not being able to hold it together or what if you suddenly feel like you have to throw up and you end up throwing up all over the guy laying on the surgical table or something? I mean, same in lab. Like, what if you just suddenly puke all over the lab samples or something and you can't do anything with them? I only know this much about the medical side of things because I've been watching all these medical shows lately. There's House, there's Chicago Med. My favorite has to be The Good Doctor. Don't even get me started. I know it's like a controversial choice. People really don't like that show, but me and my mom started watching it in December and we're already on season 3. So, anyway, you should be thankful you weren't fired. Yeah, that's so true. He's probably going to be though. You're the and then another comment, you're the asshole. 5 shots over 1.5 hours and then returning to work in the medical lab. Frat days are over, bro. Thank you, exactly. It's like he's in high school or college or something. He's acting like he's I'm assuming in his I think he's in his 20s or 30s, but he's acting like he's 19. And then another commenter replies to that, God, I can't even imagine wanting to take 5 shots, fully knowing I had to go back to the office. I would have been absolutely sloshed taking 5 shots in general, even if it was on a weekend night out with friends. Okay, I really fucking hope that the dude didn't drive home claiming he had his wits about him and that he was a lightweight and that he was a heavy drinker and he could handle it or whatever. Like, come on. Do not drive when you're in that state. No matter how well you think you can handle your liquor, do not drive when you are in that kind of situation. Like, you shouldn't be drinking and driving at all. I don't think drinking and then getting behind the wheel is the best idea, regardless of how much you drank or how well you think you can hold your liquor. Like, I don't know. It's just okay. And then someone else says, You're the asshole, and the way you describe your other coworkers is gross. Females, diminutive Asian. Oh my, yeah, I knew that was bad. And work, bro. You need to grow up. Oh my god. Any guy who says females immediately loses like 30 points of respect from me because that's just gross. And that is such it's usually incels, right? That describe women as females, whatever. And then someone from a throwaway account says, "You're the asshole. Expect to be fired on Monday." Cool. Okay, and then there was an update like 2 days later. And he's still calling this guy his work bro because of course he is. Well, I'm sure a lot of you will be happy to know that me and my out of work bro got fired this morning. HR asked us why exactly we thought we could drink 6 tequila shots and then go back to the lab. All we could think of was that in college we used to work hard and play hard, and it didn't affect our grades. They didn't like that excuse because it's not college. It's the real world. You are in the real world, my man, and you can't just do whatever you want and act like you're still in college, okay? Ugh, I don't know, man. I don't know. Anyway, we were offered a plea bargain. HR accepted our resignations and promised a passing, but not glowing reference for future employers on the condition that we don't mention what happened to anyone ever again. Wait, does that include posting about it on Reddit? I want to thank all those that commented on on the original thread. I now accept that me and my work bro made a grievous error of judgment. We're not alcoholics, as some people suggested, but we're not in college anymore either. Personally, I will be laying off the hard liquor for a while to refocus on building my career in medical diagnostics. And if in the future someone offers me a shot while I'm on the clock, I will say no thank you. Repost sub, I am not the OP. Okay. Literal definition of giving an inch and having a mile taken instead. OP probably would have been fine with just one single round for the table and calling it. Talk about ruining something good because LOL, men drink. Unless he's done a post-grad and is newly working, I cannot for the life of me understand how he thought this was appropriate behavior, especially in a job like that. For some people, quote, rules are for the other people. You see that in his update. He honest to God think does not think he did anything wrong. I have to say this guy's tag is I love gay romance, and I really appreciate that. Um, I'm on low battery. Give me a second. I'm gonna plug in my computer real quick. Ugh, usually makes a noise when I'm on low battery, but I guess it didn't do that this time. It actually hasn't done that the last few times. Okay. Uh, come on. Mm, 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 mm. There we go. Got it. Oh, there we go. It beat that time. Okay. All right. I think. All right. And then in the okay, and now we're going over to the comments in the r/slash oh no consequences post. My God, it frightens me that OOP was somehow qualified enough to work in a lab in the first place. Who the fuck wants to take 5 shots of tequila and then go back to work? And then someone's replies to that, I've had some clients with like 5+ DUIs. You'd think the first one would have been a wake up call. They'd stay sober for a bit, then relapse, rinse, and repeat. I used to work with veterans, many of whom were literally drunk all day, every day. Their cost benefit analysis is basically if I drive drunk every day of the year and only get caught every few years, then why would I stop? DUIs never seem to stop some of them. We'd even have clients who graduated from our program, then relapse the next day. My dad was a lifelong alcoholic to the degree that he kept a bottle of Crown in his work truck. When he was home, he was never without a Corona in his hand. It's a miracle he still had a license given. He probably spent more of his life at least tipsy than sober. To be honest, with some hardened alcoholics, I would probably trust them driving at 0.10% BAC rather than completely sober. And then someone responds to that, "Nah, they can ride the bus," which, yeah, fuck it. I don't know. I think you deserve to have your license or your car taken away and get DUIs if you are going to drive like that and be an idiot. Um, I know this is like a shorter Reddit video, but I think that's gonna be it for today. Like, I just kind of don't feel like reading these stories anymore. Like, I have some other stuff to do today anyway, and then mom's gonna be home at around 7, and she also said that we would watch a little TV. So I think this is just going to be the video for now. Sorry if you guys were expecting more, but I'll try and make a longer video next time. Okay, I love each and every one of you guys. Please don't forget to always be yourself. You are valid. Don't forget to be good to yourself and others, and I will see all you guys in the next video, which I don't know when that'll be.